Welcome to Yin Yoga Lifestyle. I am your host, Colette Darville. Cultivating our body's resilience and inner silence and its application to all aspects of your life. Let's become enlightened and enjoy the power of intuitiveness and creativity. You are listening to Society Bites Radio, social interaction for the mind and soul. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I am your host, Colette Darville, and this is Yin Yoga Lifestyle. So now let us take a deep meditative breath. Inhale, so, and exhale, hum. NAOMI SLATER and Navot Cohen are dedicated to helping others experience the bliss, unity, and healing that can be experienced in lovemaking and intimacy through their couples coaching sessions at divinecouples.com. Their combined techniques from tantra, yoga, bioenergy, compassionate communication, and massage to help couples rekindle the passion in their relationships. NAOMI holds a BA in psychology and an MA in conflict management and resolution, and Navot holds an HHP degree in functional medicine and massage. In their coaching, NAOMI and Navot work with couples that are seeking to learn more about their sexuality and those wanting to access higher levels of pleasure and consciousness through their practices. Navot and NAOMI have both been on spiritual paths for many years, traveling the Far East, India, especially to study ancient philosophies and practices from various teachers and gurus. Their dedication and thirst for spiritual development is essentially what brought their souls together. They have both studied advanced tantra therapy with Abhishek Hayakaspi, a leading figure in the field, and have participated in numerous tantra seminars in Thailand, Israel, and the US. They are bioenergy therapists that treat addiction with an energetic treatment. After 10 years of marriage and a thriving couples coaching practice, NAOMI and Navot live in Florida with their 3 beautiful children. Welcome back to Yin Yoga Lifestyle, NAOMI. I know it's been a while.
Thank you so much for having me again. It has been a while. Thank you, Colette.
Welcome. And since then, you've done a lot of expanding into your coaching and into your therapy. So, and we have a lot to cover today.
Yes,
So,
we do.
I do want to sort of go back a little bit, and can you tell us how you and your husband Navot met?
Yes, this is actually one of my favorite stories to tell. So we actually met in a spiritual festival in Israel. And we met in a group meditation, an Osho meditation, where there are different stages that you go through. And you essentially, every time you meet somebody's eyes, in the beginning, you have to release anger. So you scream at each other. And, you know, you go through these different stages. And there was a stage where we met, the stage in which we met, where we had to look into each other's eyes and say, I love you. So those were essentially the first words that we said to each other in this meditation was, I love you. And he said, I love you back. And we kind of sensed that there was something more there. And that was the beginning of our relationship.
That's a beautiful beginning.
It is.
It's a wonderful beginning.
Yes.
And what was the deciding factor that gave birth to your divine couples coaching practice together?
So we've both been on spiritual paths for many, many years, doing spiritual work, and I've been a yoga teacher for many years, and Navot, has been doing healing work and massage therapy. And after we had our second child, something was missing. We've always had a very good relationship, but we started fighting more. And our sexuality wasn't nearly as passionate as it had been, before we had kids,
Right.
which I think happens to a lot of couples.
Yes, definitely.
And Navot, he was introduced to tantra, and he started studying and practicing, and I got sucked in. And it essentially transformed our relationship. It transformed how we view our sexuality, how we, first and foremost, our sexuality, meaning our sexuality with our own selves. It's first about understanding your
Mm.
own sexuality, and then, of course, practicing with your partner. And it transformed our communication, our sexuality, just the energy in general in our home was really transformed through our tantric practice. So through that inspiration, we decided to share this knowledge that we received with others. We
Mm.
really feel passionate about helping other individuals and couples transform their lives through understanding their sexuality.
Wow. And that's how it was born.
Yes,
That's how
yeah.
it was born. Now, you have degrees in psychology and a master's in conflict management and resolution. It seems you have taken these two skills and you've applied them to a much more enlightening healing modality for your clients and for anybody that you coach. Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Sure, sure. So, yeah, I spent a lot of time studying in universities, and I gained a lot of very important skills, um, you know, through studying these degrees. But at a certain point in my life, I realized that I'm a healer,
Hmm.
and that is my true calling. That I have a gift that I need to pass on to others,
How
and
can I ask you how that happened for you? How you
so,
developed that?
sure, sure. So the truth is that it happened in stages.
Mm.
My first spiritual awakening happened when I was 23 years old, and it was when I had started practicing yoga, and I had a very profound awakening when I was in a final relaxation after a yoga class, where I essentially realized that I was asking for help essentially in my final relaxation for something. And
Mm.
at that moment, I received this kind of download or this awakening that what I'm seeking is essentially within me. And it's kind of hard to describe this kind of experience, but it changed my entire outlook on the world. I received a lot of knowledge through that awakening,
Mm.
which was essentially the beginning, I guess, of my path. I mean, after that, I essentially went and became a yoga teacher. I traveled India. I was meditating and spending at least 5 hours a day in India doing spiritual practice.
Wow.
So really incorporating these practices into my psychic system, into my physical body,
Uh-huh.
on a very deep level.
That takes a lot of
So,
energy
well,
or
it
inspires a lot of energy.
produces a
Yeah.
lot of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it requires dedication. It
Mm.
requires dedication to the path. But when you're dedicated to this path, you essentially understand, realize, and absorb an incredible amount of energy and knowledge,
Mm.
which for me really guided me in my life. So that was really the first spiritual awakening that I had, and I've had others since, each with their own flavor, I guess you could call it.
Hmm.
Um, and I believe that I'll be having these awakenings on various levels until my last breath. I feel that each time, each time I have an awakening, I realize really how little it is that I know, and that we're all here to grow and evolve and learn. So I'm just trying to continue to do that. And as I'm doing that, to help pass on the knowledge that I've received to others so that they can improve their lives.
Yeah, and we're only benefiting from all the energy that you're putting out there and receiving. So thank you so much, Naomi.
Oh, thank you, Colette. Thank
um,
you.
and
It's a privilege.
and so I know we're kind of getting back to the conflict management, the psychology. Um, i- i- Applying that to a more enlightening healing modality for your client, do you find that that has helped you understand clients better, or or has it created more of a sort of a Pandora's box of wanting to find out more about how you can help them?
Well, I guess it kind of goes back and forth. I think overall, of course, all of the tools, and I'm sure that most people would say this, all of the tools that you've essentially and the knowledge that you've gained through your life, you use in various ways, whether it be
Mhm.
consciously or subconsciously. I don't necessarily, when I'm treating a client, I'm not necessarily so aware of where I'm taking my tools from when I'm treating them, but I have a large skill set that I use when I'm treating people. So some of that comes from my psychology background in terms of helping people uproot some of these limiting beliefs that they may have about themselves, about what they think they can and can't do. So many people are locked into a certain way of living or relationships or jobs, or a way of being in a relationship
Mhm.
because of these limiting beliefs that they may have about themselves.
Right.
So it's and having a background in psychology without a doubt helps me kind of see these scripts that people are in. And conflict management and resolution goes without say. I think it's just made me more aware of what propels people, and what helps me uncover what their true interests are. This is a very integral part of helping people resolve conflicts.
Yeah. And
Sometimes yeah, go
sorry,
ahead.
sorry. I was just thinking about um, you going into a much more intimate, an intimate therapy, because you're
Hmm.
taking that one step further than just sort of coaching somebody. And
Hmm.
um, most of us think of sex when we think of tantra yoga, and I know it's part of your practice and one of the tools that you use. But it's also a powerful combination of yoga asana, mantra, mudra, and bandhas, which are energy locks, and chakra work,
Hmm. Hmm.
that you can build to for strength and clarity and bliss in everyday life. Are these things that you teach couples to harness when you're treating them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I think that modern society has kind of taken tantra and kind of condensed it into this neat little compartment where it's all about sex, which is not the truth.
Hmm.
Sex is an important part, being, of course, because it's related to our life force energy. This is the strongest energy essentially that exists in the universe, is this creative life force energy. And yes, sex has a lot to do with that. But you want to have a strong foundation, spiritual foundation, so that you don't perverse the use of this energy. And I don't need to go into that. I think people know
Right.
uh,
Yeah.
how this energy can be easily perversed.
Yes.
So, in order to not have that happen, you need to have a strong spiritual foundation. You need to have a certain level of purity, in order to deal with this energy in a way that's helpful and not harmful. So, of course, yoga asana, having a yogic practice will help purify the body and the mind. Mantras, mudras, as you mentioned, understanding the energetic body. So the energetic body, chakras, um, understanding how to unblock certain areas, and this is, of course,